No, I'm not. You just showed their failures in recent memory of watching this team offensively, especially struggle. And let's talk about the running game struggling as well. Ezekiel Elliott, was it 5 straight games, under 100 yards? So offensively, number 1 ranked, but not living up to that billing. And then comes the Los Angeles Rams, focused, knowing that their balancing act has to go through Todd Gurley primarily. And if you look at this team right now, especially defensively, they are playing some football. Defense has a streak of 7 straight games with 3 or more sacks. And that means that they're coming and they're hunting. So I don't think that the Cowboys can get off the schneid. I think they lose.
I'll go next because I know what you probably going to say. So
he's a homer. He's on payroll.
I ain't no homer. Get that right.
And listen, it kind of probably is along the same lines as Marcellus. I really don't give this team a chance for a lot of the reasons that Marcellus said. But again, this is a team that has lost its way. Its identity is being defined by off-the-field discussions and interviews and sound bites. It really is not about football right now in Dallas. And even with that being said, they have an opportunity to win the NFC East and get a bid into the playoffs. But you got to be able to run the ball. The Rams have began to run the ball last week. They decided to do it and do it against the defense where if Gurley had the type of success he did, it sets the stage for them moving forward. The Dallas Cowboy defense has given up 28 points per game over the last 2 games and over 369 yards and net yardage in the last 2 games. It does not bode well having a Todd Gurley feeling confident. The offense is playing well. Goff is jumping onto it. And again, that defense playing the way that they're playing, I just find it difficult for them to be able, under the circumstances, to beat the Rams.
Well, as the Rambassador,
My man.
I hope they don't play well. I don't like the Cowboys, so look good. I don't want to hear they play. You know, I think this game comes down to 2 people, the head coaches, Jason Garrett and Sean McVay. And most definitely, I'm going to take Sean McVay in this case. I think Sean has proven, you know, in his young coaching career that he can win the big games. You know, he's lost some, but he can make changes. And I'll go to the changes last week with Jared Goff. You know, we all know that, well, I've said it, and I think a lot of you have said it, Jared Goff cannot sit back. If you let him sit in the pocket, he'll pick you apart. But if you put pressure on him, he can make him fall apart. So last week, what they did to him, they started rolling him out. He was 7 of 7 for 134 yards. And that's what coaching does. Sometimes you have to make changes being a coach. And it comes down to Wade Phillips and Jason Garrett. Now, Wade Phillips is not a Jason Garrett fan. Remember, he was the head coach there.
Yeah.
And he, in a sense, got Wade Phillips out. If I'm Wade, I'm like, hell yeah. This is my chance to put the nail in the coffin.
He told you to say that, didn't he?
No.
He gave you that to say this morning, didn't he?
No.
You putting that out there.
I said that last
I know you said that, Wade.
You all right?
I'm going to get Garrett. Tell him, ED, I'm going to get him.
I'm saying.
I'm going to get him.
I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him out of here. So that's more incentive.
Yeah.
Listen, I think you're right narrowing this down to the coaches, Eric. And I'll say it because Sean McVay is why Jason Garrett should have been fired a long time ago. Sean McVay's team went through some turbulence, and Sean McVay adjusted and said, you know what, I'm stupid. I've done some dumb things. Let's commit to Todd Gurley in this running game and play-action pass game with Jared Goff. I got us out here way too far in the passing game. The guy committed to a style of play that works for his personnel. He turned his ship a different direction. Jason Garrett hasn't been able to turn his ship. They're not committed to anything. You don't know what is it going. Are they going to feed Zeke this week? Are they going to have Dak throw the ball 40, 50 times this week? They're not committed to anything in Dallas, so it's hard for me to believe they have any chance against a talented team that, to me, has a shaky quarterback, but at least they're committed to a style of play.
Yeah, and let's not forget, and let's not overthink this, that the Cowboys are 0-6 versus winning teams, and this is a winning team coming in at an 8-5 record. So I do want to push back at the Rambassador, since I know he has all the intel in the world about this team. Todd Gurley, of late, we see the uptick in production and opportunities, but we also see the uptick in agitation. He's been speaking, the compliment that he got from Jared Goff, he kind of snubbed that. The Sean McVay, talking about I'm an idiot, he kind of snubbed that as well. I just wonder, like, everyone's saying that Todd Gurley is back, and Todd Gurley takes exception to that I'm back because he feels that he hasn't left. Your assessment of Todd Gurley in this commitment?
I agree with Todd Gurley. He's never been anywhere. Look, as a running back, you don't call the plays. I mean, you don't get the offensive coordinator calls the plays. The head coach calls the plays. I mean, I think because when you hear something so much over and over, man, Todd Gurley, he got an arthritic knee. He ain't the same guy. They paid him all that money. He don't deserve that money. I mean, that's frustrating. It's like I'm getting the ball 5 and 6 times a game. I'm in and out of the game. I'm here for a series. I'm on the bench for 6 series. I'm in, I'm out. As a defensive lineman, that's hard for you. That would be hard for you.
But
hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. For a running back, it is so difficult to get into the swing of a game, run the ball 3 or 4 times, without getting the ball. And it's hard because you got to think about it. I'm not just running from me to you, offensive line. I'm running through guys up the field. I got to burst. That's a hamstring waiting to happen.
Hold on, but Eric, you know the game. None of that's by coincidence. It's always calculated in the NFL. And when Sean McVay says stuff like, our approach is Todd's a big-time player, he's shown that he's feeling good. Shown that he's feeling good. That, to me, is double talk. Like,
to me,
earlier in the season, they must didn't think he had it.
What you're saying is you taking one word out. That don't mean...
That's a phrase.
That's you taking
that's a sentence now.
You're taking a sentence or a phrase out and making it, in a sense, like, this is what it means.
Well,
hold on. Right. We don't know what it means. We don't know exactly what it means. I mean, I still felt when I watched Todd play, when I watched him in practice, I watched him play, he looked the same to me. And I talked to him. I talked to him. I called him when I said, he didn't say it. I said, I'm frustrated for you. Because as a running back, I know how you want to. You can't get the ball 3, 4 times. I mean, and then you look around and it's 12 carries. And well, Todd's not the same. He had 30 yards on 12 carries. Let me tell you something. Sometimes on that 18th carry, on that 21st carry, that's when you had that boom, that 60-yarder. A defense does not want to see the ball run over and over.
Let me ask you, and really all of you all, because you played in the NFL, Todd Gurley gets a big contract. I wonder if any of what's gone on is like, has his practice habits declined with that big contract, and that's what has frustrated Sean McVay and these guys? Or at that level of play, does it even matter what you do in practice?
Let me tell you this. When you watch Todd, I know Todd. No, Todd is the same guy. He's hungry. I mean, he wants to get that ball. The thing is, and I said it a year ago, we are a team that likes to throw the football too much at times. We get caught up on it. And that's what it is. A lot of these coaches are like, look how smart I am. You see that play I ran? You like that, don't you? I mean, and that's what it comes down to. Look, running the football is not popular. It's not. I mean, look at the Baltimore Ravens. Now it's popular because it's working for them. You got a quarterback it works for. But running the football is just not a popular thing. Throwing is more popular.
It doesn't get you a new job.
No, exactly.
It's going to get Greg Roman one this year, but in previous years, you got to be the offensive coach that throws the football.
Look at Dak Prescott in this game, too. Speaking of contracts, major implications, if you ask me, for Dak Prescott coming into this game, because performing well could mean something good for him coming.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. And be sure to check out more of the best clips from Speak For Yourself, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.